Welcome to the Sandy Show, where we teach and help you grow. A place to learn and be free.
Alrighty guys, welcome to this new video. Today we're going to be talking about the quadratic formulas and the quadratic functions. And we're going to talk about the three variations of quadratic functions that we have. So before we start with quadratic functions, I have to tell you what is a quadratic function. So quadratic function, based on the equation, is when f of x equals to x squared. So this is, or if you're grade 10, it's this. So yeah. So this tells you that it's a quadratic function. Anytime that the x has a square on it, or its power of 2, that means it's a quadratic function. Now there are three forms: standard form, vertex form, factored form. We're first going to start on the one thing that has the one form that tells us the least amount of information based on the things it gives us. So the standard form equation for a quadratic function is f of x equals to ax squared plus bx plus c. So this tells us barely anything. The only thing that this tells us that is the a value and the c value. The c value equals to y-intercept, and the a value tells us that is it either reflective or not. So by this I mean if this is a graph, the c value tells us that if, and then this is 1, so this will be like the c value, and the a value tells us if it's like this or if it's like this. So that's what the a value tells us, if it's either this, but the c value tells us and like what is the y-intercept. So c. So the c is that, and yeah. And you know why? It's because if we put let's just say x equals to 0, so 0 to the power of 2 plus b 0 plus c. So that's why it is this intercept. The next for the second form we have is a factored form, and this is wrote like f of x equals to x minus r x minus s. Now this tells us a bit more. So r and s, they tell us that the x-intercept, which I'll dive into in the next video, and then the a value, it's the same, reflective or not. So if this is a graph, I'm not going to draw 2, I'm just going to draw 1. This tells us the r and the s. If it's this, they tell us these 2 points. So the r and the s, so this would be like r, it doesn't really matter, r or the s, and same for that. So they tell us. Now, if r or s is bigger than 0, that means it is right. It is like, yeah. چطوری اینو بگم؟
خب بگی دهنش بازه چی میخوای بگی؟
نه خب بگم اگر r و s از 0 بزرگتر باشه the graph goes to the right.
Okay, horizontal نه horizontal translation.
داری میگیری
هنوز داری میگیری؟ نه خود بکا بزنی.
نه خب 3 2 1. So if r and s are bigger than 0, it means there's a horizontal translation for the graph. By graph I mean the x-intercept is like either it's on the right side. If it's if r and s are smaller than 0, it means both of them are here. So I'm just going to say this. If this is scenario 1 and this is scenario 2 and this is 1, so I would say R and S are bigger than 0, it would simply mean that this is like that. And for scenario 2, which I'm going to say this is 2, it simply means this. That both of them are on the... So for example, let's say R equals to -5 and S equals to -3. The equation would be x plus 5 and x plus 3, which means that since it's gonna be, it looks like this. So -5, and that is x minus -3. So that's what this means by positive. So don't get tricked by this. So this means it's to the left. And to the right would be like, if let's say these are now positive, it will be x minus 5 and x minus 3. So that's what I mean by like it goes left or right, based on if R or S are smaller than 0 or bigger than 0. Now, to the vertex form, which is final form, which tells us everything basically. The vertex form, so the vertex form will be f of x equals to a x minus h squared plus k. So this is the vertex form. It tells us the most. So first it tells us the vertex, which is the h and the k value, and then it tells us a if it's reflective or not. So how would I say this? It'll be, if this is a graph, let's say h is like equals to 1 and k equals to -5, it will simply mean that if it's like here, and let's say a equals to a positive number, because the positive number means it's going upward, so it would be like that, something like that. Or if it was negative, it meant that it was like that. So the vertex, so this would have been the vertex. And then also one thing, as I said in my old videos, if A is positive, opens up your graph. If A equals to negative, then it opens down. I would say if A is negative, it looks like a sad face. Like, let me do this, sad guy. But if it's positive, it looks like a happy guy. Or as I would personally prefer, this looks like a U and this looks like an N, but what it is. So I will talk about these two in my later videos, but yeah. So this, the vertex form tells us the most about the quadratics. This tells us a little bit about it. This only tells us the x-intercepts, but this only tells us the c-intercept or the y-intercept. And it only tells us if it's reflected or not, and which the reflective or not is true for every single one of them. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to click the like button and subscribe. See you later, alligators. Bye-bye, guys.